Hi there. This is Katie Groves, and in this video, I'm going to be continuing the kind of videos I've been making the last couple days, in which I talk about what I'm processing right now. Right now, I'm letting go of more trauma bonds, and in this instance, I'm specifically integrating around some traumas I've experienced with a family member. I had a dream this morning I woke up out of that was extremely intense. I had an extremely intense couple of dreams that kind of blended into each other. And one of them involved a slightly younger family member, a cousin, to whom I am very attached and with whom I have no contact, as I have no contact with anyone in my family. I have a lot of emotional pain around him. He's someone I definitely consider to be good, a good person, and who I don't know if he has made it out, will make it out. I've not heard from him since I contacted the family a couple years ago. But in the dream, it was a type of dream that's very painful and very healing for me. I don't really know how to describe it. In the dream, I was talking to him as if we weren't totally controlled. I was sharing thoughts and feelings with him that would not have been allowed in the mind control, and he was responding in ways that would not have been allowed in the mind control. And I don't think this was an actual memory. The scene took place in my childhood home, but and he was younger than he would be now, much younger. But I think it was a creation of something that I would have wanted to happen at the time. The horrible pain of not being able to have an honest conversation with people in the mind control is really impossible for me to describe. Really can't begin to talk about what it feels like to not be able to share your thoughts and feelings with those closest to you on even a basic level. And when I did so, when I would break that rule, when they would break that rule with me, the consequences were unfathomable. Rape, torture, and the murder of someone else in front of us, or us being forced to murder someone else ourselves, were typical punishments, as well as extensive interrogations followed by reprogramming to prevent it from happening again. I consistently fought this and fought to connect with my cousin, but I don't think that I successfully did so very much. It's all still hazy for me. So right now I'm working on letting go of him. I will always love him and have love in my heart for him. And he's somebody that I choose to stay attached to inside. But I'm letting go of the deep inner need to rescue him, and letting go of my horrible pain and suffering around what will happen to him in his life, around the fact that I have no contact with him, and around not knowing whether or not he's free. I am speaking to the child part of me that's holding on to our love for him, as well as adult parts that hold them. And I'm asking them to let it go and release it into our system so that we can each share a little bit of their burden. So that we can each share a little bit of their pain. Some of them are letting go and the pain is starting to spread through our body, similarly to how we described in the video we did outside yesterday. It's starting to spread through our arms and even into our legs. And we're breathing with it. We notice that we're dehydrated. So we're going to drink some water right here. Frequently, we come into our body a bit when we do this. And realize that we haven't been drinking enough water, or we have to use the bathroom or something. We often don't realize how dissociated we are until we start really doing the processing. And then when we're forced to become mindful in order to successfully heal, we start tapping into that awareness. our cousin was watching this right now, we would say to him that we are here for him, and that if he ever wants to break free or needs help in breaking free, he can contact us. We are a mess, and we don't have a lot to offer in any tangible way, but we would give everything that we could. And if he was willing and able to accept us as we are, then well, we're here. But regardless of how he felt about us, we would open our doors. Now that we have said that, we are going to let our alters know, and we are going to help them let go. Let go of all outcomes and just focus on our love for our cousin. And we give the love and acceptance that we have for him to ourselves. And we turn that forgiveness we have around for him, that isn't even really forgiveness because we don't see there's anything to forgive. We turn that automatic acceptance back onto ourselves. And we apply it as forgiveness. And we pour that love into ourselves so that we no longer hate ourselves so much for the things we did in the mind control. If we can see our cousin as a victim, as having been an innocent child, we can see that in ourselves. We release all sense of responsibility for him and for the things we were forced to do to him when we were children. We let go of the culpability we feel because we were older than him and because we feel we should have protected him. And we look at the things we did to protect him, the underhanded attempts we made to free him. And we rescue those parts of ourselves who have been neglected and ignored. The parts of ourselves in our system we have abandoned in an attempt to protect him, to keep those parts from being infiltrated, to keep people in the cult from finding out what we did to try and help him. Because we now have the confidence in ourselves, in those parts of ourselves, that we will not be reaccessed, and that no one will get a hold of our mind to reveal what we did, and that even if they do, it was a long time ago, and we're not even sure what damage could really be done. We breathe in and accept ourselves. We love ourselves completely, and we look to that child part in us that says, why? Why did those things happen? Why did those things happen to him and to us? And we just grieve. And we connect to the part of ourselves that connects with our older cousin, the younger one's older brother. And we connect with our pain around him. That pain is so great, we don't even know how to speak about it. We're not going to try, but we are holding and honoring that pain. The pain for both of them and for ourselves. We connect to the present moment and to the trees and to the sacred spaces that we have created for our cousins, in which internalized versions of them live, in which the internalized parts of them that were able to connect and relate to us live. And we release those parts of us that have lived in fantasy worlds in which both of those people could connect to us and could have those conversations with us freely, or somewhat freely, like we did in that dream with our younger cousin last night. And we remember a dream we had in which we connected to our uncle in a similar way. Not my cousin's father, but that man's brother. And how we connected to him and spoke to him freely and released an inner world in which an introject of him was able to communicate with us as if he had never been mind controlled. And he was able to just play with our inner child, and we were able to be free. It was a beautiful place on a mountain with farmland around. It's hard to explain the geography of it. It doesn't really make sense. It's an eidetic inner world. We connect all those spaces into a dream we remember having maybe a year or so ago, in which we connected with our mother on that level, in which she spoke to us as if she was free. And we recognize these not as memories, but as inner parts to keep us alive, designed to keep us alive. And we release them from the fantasy worlds, and we let them come to the present moment where they can have those needs met through our adult, through our inner loving parent, the part of us from which I speak right now. We bring them all in unison, all that unmet need, all that terrible emotional pain, the pain of the neglect of having been raised in a mind-controlled family and a perpetrative family. And we bring those parts in deep connection with their anger, with the sadness and the loss, and we begin to grieve. We begin to deeply grieve the loss of our childhood and the loss of the family members who could have been living fulfilling, open, free lives had they not been born into torture-based mind control. We let them all go because we are here now. We have a new family, and that family is the family we've always truly had. The family inside, our dissociative system. All these inner parts that have played dress up inside, that have played the roles of family members from the outside to try and give us a sense of connection. We were connecting with ourselves the whole time. All those introjects of fantasy-free family are really ourselves. Inner loving parent parts of ourselves and child parts that have played with us, have retained the ability to play and laugh and sing and dance and be innocent and be free. We've kept them alive by pretending. But now we are an adult and we can let them go. We're meeting the first of the Introjects and finding out their real names. And our integration process with them has begun.